Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I think I clicked the button just a little too quick. So just bear with me for a second. How is everybody doing today? I hope everyone's having a great day. I know there is a video dropping shortly, but I said let's have a little pregame chat and get on some of these hot topics and get a little bit caught up, and then I'll see you guys a little later because I'm gonna need to make dinner anyway, so I'll be cooking while phone calls from prison. If you didn't know, they're dropping a video. It was titled something about how Nesta was planning on paying for his bond. So I'm eager to hear that. So see what's going on with that. I'm pulling up my monitor right now. I hope everybody's doing well and happy Monday. Um, I was going to come at lunchtime, but I said, you know what? Something just said, you know what? Just take a minute because I had some stuff I really needed to do. And I'm glad I did. But I do want to talk about a couple of things. I did watch Wendy Williams. I'm assuming a lot of y'all watched it too. It was interesting. I don't know what you guys have to say. I was thinking, let me drop the call in if anyone has some sentiments that they would like to give, because honestly, what I'm gonna say about the whole Wendy thing right now, um, I really could have gone without. I could have gone without it. I think a lot of what we kind of already know, we already knew. And what we learned in the Lifetime documentary, if that's it it was very sad. It was very, very sad. Who said that? Candy. Hey, Candy. Hey, everybody. Let me try to say hi to everybody while there's just a few people here. Hey, A-Dub. Hey, Darlene. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Rainbow. Mr. Reality Check TV Chicago, generating all nasty Nestos grievances, period. Okay. Um, we'll reconvene a little bit later, like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So this is going to be a quick one. So I really wanted to talk because I think everything that there is to talk about, we could probably talk about very quickly. Let me see. Where'd I stop off? Mr. Reality Check, Mary, Nurse Jackie, Lorinda, Overcomer, Jackson Tabasco. Hey, Lily. And you know this, J Fox, Candy. We got two Candies in the house. And Harmon, BBM, J Fox for the two-time. Loretta, hey, boo boo. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. The Gold Experience. Honey Mitchell, how is it going, sis? How are you? Coming in through Facebook. Shay, Rita, BB, maybe for the two times also. Exo Love, Tennessee, what's good? CA 1983, Tam, Candy, Joey, Tam, Planet Lover, Beyonce, Jacqueline, Legacy Moon, True Crime Mysteries and Documentaries, period. Okay. Luscious, um, Petty Patty, Miss Cinnamon. Did I say Joey already? Joey, Blessed, Max, Miss Unique, Nikisha, Sylvia. Oh, that threw me off. Sylvia's warrant. Okay. Nikisha, TS, Health, Happy, is it Ramaya? Sharon. Okay, now it's like way so many people coming in. Is it Shaya? Shina maybe. Stephanie. Okay, Rakia, Lexi, everyone. Hello. Um, is it Sherrod? Sherrod Bell? Okay. Blue Sapphire, what's good? Yvette. Okay. All right. Anyone else comes in? You guys know how I feel. Cheryl. Okay. Real quick, let me drop the call in. And you guys can sound off, but we're gonna keep this real cute and right at 7 o'clock because there is a video coming out at 7 that I would like to see. Plus, I also need to cook dinner, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I do have an ulterior motive. I got to feed my family. But I think I'm kind of good on that. But in any case, but anyone want to call in, please feel free to do so. First thing I wanted to talk about real quick was the Wendy Williams documentary. I know there's some other stuff, but let's just get into that. But it's kind of open topic. If you have any opinions on Wendy, Kelly Rowland and her, I guess, so that whole thing, we'll talk about that in a second. The update on Fonnie Willis. The court date is on, I believe, Friday. And then oh, Portia, that could be a whole hour, but Portia, people feel like it's a financial maneuver. I don't know what you guys think. They feel like it's a financial maneuver because Portia and Simon have not really completely distanced themselves from each other online, and Portia's habits are to kind of wipe the internet clean when she has discrepancies, also when she distances herself from a relationship. So Portia has not made those moves on her social media, and neither has Simon. Simon seems to be a little bit kind of playing a little bit with the media. Some people feel like this might be the storyline that they're coming back in on. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but at the end of the day, they let them do whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? What can we do about that? But so Wendy, the Lifetime documentary happened over the weekend. Um, I mean, it was interesting. I did feel almost like I was looking in somebody's windows. It did feel a little intrusive. It felt a little. You think so? I don't think that. Okay, let me just say this. So, I don't think that if this is what Real Housewives is planning on doing to save the season, I don't know if this is what's gonna what will pop. But let's just get on Wendy real quick. I dropped the call in. Let me pin it if anybody wants to. All right. My sentiments on Wendy, number one, I did feel like it was very intrusive. This was supposed to be a documentary of Wendy's comeback to podcasting or coming back to a stronger presence back on social media, the airwaves after her complete, kind of departure from the Wendy show and the divorce and all of the things that she went through. This is not a comeback. This is not a comeback. This is not anything that what she planned for. This is not what I think that she had planned to have shown about her. And it was I would have been very upset if that was my sister or my mother. It would have been very it would be very distressing to see her in this manner because she is giving suffering from alcoholism and the after effects of using drugs. However long her drug situation has been, it's giving it's giving really sad. Um my thought is that based on some spending habit revolving around her son's birthday, some monies were spent, and those monies were spent in a way that triggered the bank, and the bank put the brakes on the money. And so I don't know that little Kevin, was doing anything he wasn't supposed to be doing, but because I don't want to say because Kevin had a birthday party, but because there was some spending at a very high dollar amount that they thought was problematic or triggered a review. I do not know what happened, but it is putting the blame on her son somewhat, that there were some events revolving around some extreme spending at one time that is what kicked in some of this conservatorship, and it was sad. I felt bad for her son because his mother worked her whole life, I think, to be able to provide a wonderful life for her family, specifically her, Kevin, and little Kevin. And when Kevin broke the trust of the marriage, his affair, whether she turned a blind eye to it at a certain point or not, I think she was devastated having to take a back seat to Sharina Hudson. I think that her illness, because it's not just someone, I don't think that Wendy was just a drunk. I think Wendy is definitely triggered by alcohol and the effects of alcohol. And she looks sick. She really does. And whatever other health problems she has, I'm sure is not helping with the alcohol and maybe even occasional drug use at this point, because I don't know that any of those people, that manager, it was about like when Mariah Carey had that weirdo manager and everybody was worried about Mariah Carey for a minute. You know what I mean? After maybe she was devastated behind Nick Cannon. Mariah was doing bad for a minute and people were very worried about her, right? Wendy is giving the same type of vibe, same type of energy. I'm hoping that I just, I hope that she is okay, because it's really, really, really sad and bad, and it's unfortunate. I don't feel like it is fair that the bank can just come in and take a hold of all of your money and finances, but I'm not really sure what she did to trigger that type of attention from the bank, spending $100,000. A woman who's got millions of dollars, $100,000 should be like a blip, and maybe not even a blip, especially in my mind, the type of spending I think she does, or think she might have done once upon a time. But we really, you know, I don't know. I don't. But people are nosy and people could have been making phone calls and all kinds of stuff like that. So anyway, it's very sad. I feel bad for her. I don't, just like her niece was saying, she searches her name on the internet every day and she doesn't want to read something bad about her auntie. And I would hate that for her. I don't want to see that either. I really don't. I don't. It's horrifying. Um, Wendy was fine. And all of a sudden, it changed. And I remember her like this and fresh. And she always had on, she was always dressed in her style, which I love her style. I'm from Jersey and I love Wendy's style. I love that she loves jewelry and diamond bracelets and all of that stuff. I think she's her own person, very much her own person. And I hate this for her, but I just wish her the best. I just hope and pray that whoever is overseeing, that they are really in her best interest at this moment, because this documentary was a freaking nightmare. And if this was my mother, I would be beside myself. I don't even know what to do. Um, the stack of money, I mean, it's probably a drop in the bucket of her allowance, just to be honest. It's probably just a drop in the, and it's, and if you've ever dealt with someone with dementia, it's the little things that will set them off. And if she's not going anywhere by herself, and if having a stack of money makes her feel good and will make her, dementia and Alzheimer's is, if you've never dealt with anybody, I'm telling you, it's like the littlest thing can set them off into some aggression. So her having a stack of money, you see, it made her happy. She was hugging it, right? It was crazy, y'all. It was crazy. If you haven't seen it, I would say you're not missing anything if you don't watch it. But if you do want to watch it, just be prepared that the Wendy is not the Wendy anymore. It's not funny. If you hate Wendy, it's not going to make you feel any better because she gossiped about your favorite. It's really nothing to play with. It's really kind of scary. She's not even 60 years old yet, and anybody could end up in this type of situation. So it's almost kind of the type of thing that will make you a little bit afraid, because my husband was even like, well, how old is she? I was like, she's like 58. She's nothing. This may have actually kicked in because of her alcoholism. I really don't know. But also they said that she was unresponsive for a period of time. Um, Will did not want to cop to calling the ambulance. Why I don't know, but I think Kevin had to call the ambulance for her. Um, so I'm not really understanding what that was all about, but she was unresponsive for a period of time. It's quite possible going without oxygen potentially could have really done some damage and also kicked in the dementia. There's any number of reasons why she's in the position she's in. Excessive alcohol and drugs, all of that could have really, it's obviously didn't help, right? I don't think Wendy lied to anyone, and her predictions usually were correct about people. She didn't lie. Look, people were dropping her the TT. She was dropping the TT for a long time. And people, I don't know that anyone ever even called her a liar, did they? I think people would say, Wendy, you need to shut your mouth. I think Wendy had privileged information. She had information about things that were going on and things that people saw, things that people experienced and she had um, firsthand knowledge from people who went to the parties and saw things and she spoke on it and people did not like her for that reason. I don't remember anybody ever saying she was lying. I might be wrong, but I never really heard anyone say she was lying. Did we ever see her in court for a defamation lawsuit? I think people wanted her to shut her mouth. I think people didn't want her talking about some of the things that she was talking about, right? They wanted her quiet. And they did that for a period of time when she was on New York radio. And then they sent her to Philly and then they got her off the radio. And then eventually she ended up on TV. They got her off the radio in New York, all right, but I don't think that they predicted that because she was definitely following very much what Howard Stern was doing. Howard Stern was very much hated also, and when he segued off of New York radio and went into quote unquote satellite radio at the time, aka what now is Sirius XM radio, that was like a whole different thing. And he was also, I forgot what channel it was on, but he used to show kind of like the late night Howard Stern kind of broadcast, right? It was somewhat televised on a different channel. Legacy Moon, hey, how are you?
Hi. Are
Hey.
can, are we still talking about Wendy? Because my StreamYard was doing weird stuff, so I
Oh,
couldn't
okay,
hear.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I was mid sentence. I was just saying that Wendy, they did try to silence Wendy. Wendy ended up going through a couple of different things and then she ended up on TV. And that started a whole different history because a lot of us knew her from the Northeast and but when she started the Wendy show, that took on a whole different vibe and her footprint increased tremendously of people who knew her, loved her, and all of the things. So yeah, we're still on Wendy. What do you have to say about Wendy?
I didn't watch her the docu
Mm-hmm.
series because I um I saw that clip with her and Angela White, and it just
Mm-hmm.
kind of made me emotional, and that's not
Mm.
what I'm used to seeing. So I kind of didn't want to watch it
It's
because I just thought
sad.
I would be all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I said I'll just wait and see what different people say about it. And now clips are showing up everywhere, and all the different clips, she's cussing somebody out. And I think it's terrible. I was never a big Wendy Williams fan, but my mother was. And although I wasn't a fan, the woman to me is an icon. She
Mm-hmm.
trailblazed in her own lane and she made it somewhere. So I hate to see her being displayed like that. And I can understand why. I couldn't at first, I was like, well, why is the family let her do the documentary and now they're suing to keep it from being shown? I understand why, because that was awful. It was just
It was
awful.
supposed to be a documentary of her comeback to a podcast. So it was kind of like supposed to be a documentary of her. It was supposed to be a positive thing. But what happened was, and it wasn't even that that's not what they were doing, but I think the film crew, once they got there and started filming, what I think they were actually ended up documenting was not somebody who's ready. Because there were questions that were being like, do you think Wendy is ready for a comeback? Is she ready for this podcast? I mean, ma'am could barely, I wouldn't say she couldn't think. You could ask her a question and she would answer, but
Well,
she
I'm
wasn't
not.
ready for a conversation. She wasn't up on what's going on. Wendy has she started to get into her own world, and also maybe because of the extreme isolation and the trauma she suffered. She this was not a comeback that they were filming.
I am used to alcoholics. I come from I have that in my family history. And I am kind of a little used to, familiar with the type of brain dementia she has. How in the world can she do a podcast with dementia? And I think this manager, excuse me, jeweler who turned into her manager, I think he's exploiting her. I honestly do. And I feel my heart goes out to her and her family because that's a horrible thing. She had to deal with her husband and all of that being publicized, and then all of her conditions and illnesses being publicized. And then her mother passed. Was it her mother or her father?
Her mother.
Her mother passed. And I mean, I know that was devastating to her. She's had to deal with so many things in the last few years. I feel so bad for her. Although I do think somebody should be over her finances, I don't think some strangers should dictate what she can and can't do with her money. And I feel bad. That's basically all I
Yeah,
wanted.
it's really, really sad. It really is. I think when she signed and she was in her right mind, if so to speak, um, she was looking to document her road back to her fans, back to her career. She had taken a long break. She was not in the position that she's in now. I think she had a major setback allegedly. I mean, basically they said in the documentary there was a time that her manager, aka Will, went in and she was unresponsive. Potentially she had been drinking for a couple of days. There was some sort of like drunken stupor he could not wake her out of, and she was unresponsive. That's what they said. Unresponsive.
Wow.
Unresponsive means sometimes low to no blood, no low to no pulse,
Hmm.
shallow breathing. It could be a lot of different things. I mean, they didn't give us the details of what unresponsive, but unresponsive is serious. And she could have had, lack of oxygen to her brain. That could have kicked in the dementia. There's so many different things that could have done the damage that's been done. There was no doctor interviewed, there was no medical team. Nobody stood up from a medical perspective, and all they did say was this is the diagnosis. They used a diagnosis. I don't recall, maybe there was, I just don't recall any medical team or professional stepping up as her doctor and saying this is what was going on with Wendy. This is what we think happened. This is what triggered this. This is why you're seeing that. There was no, that would have been a little more interesting because people love her and people want to know what happened. But it's like you're showing us a train wreck
Right.
and you're telling us, okay, this got damaged, that got damaged, but nobody's really understanding like how did the train fall off the tracks or how did this, what happened? It's like you're not getting enough. To me, I didn't get the detail as to how this happened.
There was a video back, and this was back when she was still paying Kevin alimony. Her brother had come out and said she had dementia, and the family was mad because he had done that. But so it didn't surprise me to hear it again because I had thought all along that that's what's wrong with her. But last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna drop back down, that I think is so sad is from like 2022 clear up to now, when you've seen like bits and people talking to Wendy Williams on the street, or if like I think Good Morning America or somebody talked to her when she didn't even really know what a podcast was, but she said she was gonna do one. I noticed Wendy has not said, "How you doing?" at all. And that
Mm-mm.
was like her signature. And I
That's
have
her like
not
her
heard her.
tagline. Yeah.
Yeah, I not heard her say it. So it's just sad and heartbreaking to me. Well, I thank you for having me up here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Take
All right.
care. Have a good
Bye.
afternoon.
You too. Bye.
Okay. Okay, guys. So yeah, it's super sad. And yes, alcohol does cause dementia, and I think she, by her own admission, has abused alcohol. It breaks my heart. I'm gonna be honest. It really does. I hate to see her in the condition that we saw her over the weekend on Lifetime. I don't think that they intentionally tried to make her look bad. I think she's in a very bad situation, and they showed it how they showed it. Um, I don't necessarily care to see any more. I don't think that there's a value proposition to the people that actually really are fans and followed her career. I think unless you're coming with something that explains, something that talks about this disease, something that talks about the condition, something that talks from a perspective of help, not, I don't want to say they harmed her in any way. I just don't see the point. It was definitely giving train wreck, and I hate to see Wendy in this position. She worked very hard and cared a lot about her career. She cared about how she looked and her, I just don't think that she would approve at this point what it's giving. And it's not giving her in her best light. It's giving it's just not. It's just not. So yeah. Okay. The next thing I wanted to talk about, let's pivot off this a little bit. I know we um phone calls from prison is putting up a video. Yay. And it's something about Nesto talking about how he's going to pay for his bond. I'm interested to hear all about it. I don't know if it's a visit, is it a call, is it a what? So I'm interested. Um Excited about your Friday show. Oh, okay, with Fonnie and all of the shenanigans. So I did get the documents. If you haven't read the documents yet, I am posting them in Patreon, and I will, where else can I put them? I'll post them in Patreon as just a anybody can see download. I won't protect it for paid members only. So I will post a link to it on Patreon, and then you can go get it. Anybody. So anybody listening to this, if you want to do a little bit of reading, you can hear the actual motion or updated motion that was filed regarding the cell phone records, and then Fonny's, I think it's like a 48-page response. Um so I will post it. It'll be on Patreon, but it will be a everybody can see it. So you might just have to like register for Patreon, but you don't have to pay for a membership. So, one day if you want to, it's up to you, but you'll probably just have to put your name and stuff in to be able to access it. I think, I'm not sure, but it'll be for everybody. So I'll get that up there. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, so I did get some clarification as to what happened with Kelly Rowland. I mean, look, at the end of the day, um, let me see what happened. Okay, is this it? Okay. So Kelly Rowland was on the Today Show um with Savannah Guthrie, okay? So what they said was initially, I think it was speculation was that she was upset about her dressing room. She might have been upset about her dressing room. I do not know. But basically she was being interviewed. She's doing she has gotten into some acting, and she has a new role. I believe it's on Netflix. I think it's called, is it Mea Culpa? Um, let's see. She has a new role that she has embarked in. They're talking to her about the role. They're talking to her. I think she's playing a lawyer. It may be called my Mea Culpa. Yes, it's called Mea Culpa. Okay. Um, she, they're talking to her about random things. They start talking to her about Beyonce. And I think not that it's a bad thing, but I think at this point, I need you guys to interview about me. I know that my best friend, sister, cohort, all of the things is the baddest in the land, but I'm here and you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I'm gonna need for you to focus at the task at hand, and that's on me. Like I get it because even though Kelly Rowland is an accomplished singer, she's now actress, she's a mother, she is a wife, she is many things in her own right. At the end of the day, Kelly was part of the biggest girl group, ladies group, um, of all time. It's you hear like the Supremes, you hear Destiny's Child, right? She is the biggest of our time. These are ladies now in their 40s. I don't know that there's anyone in their 20s that's doing what Destiny's Child did in their 20s. There's nobody, they have done it like no one else, right? But Beyonce is, Beyonce is queen. Kelly is a queen in her own right, but Kelly has to deal very much with people not focusing on her. And I don't blame her, which it needs to be in her deals. I mean, let's just face it. I blame her management. When Kelly is coming to do a Kelly Rowland interview, understand, don't try to sneak in any questions about her bestie, her role as sister, beyond Destiny. I don't want you doing anything, asking me anything about anything. I want you to focus on Kelly, what Kelly's got going on, Kelly's family. You ask Kelly questions and Kelly questions alone. It's for me. Sorry, guys. I had to answer a question in the house. I would be, and it's not selfish. This is show business. And Kelly has a certain amount of time to answer show business questions as it pertains to her business. Kelly Rowland has a team. Kelly Rowland has a name. Kelly Rowland has a picture to promote. The people at Mea Culpa don't want her sitting there taking the time, the 4 or 5 minutes that she has allocated to talk about the Netflix series, that to talk about Beyonce's country album. And I would be annoyed. I would be annoyed that I came to talk about my new endeavor, my first acting role, but you want to talk to me about my good girlfriend's first country album. If you want to talk to her about her country album, then why don't you send an invite to her management and have her come? So I would have been very annoyed at that. You know what I'm saying? I would have been very annoyed. And if I was annoyed enough and I already knew that you guys were breaching the circle of trust that we have when I decided to come on, and then I'm walking down the hall and I hear J-Lo got a problem and I'm losing my fitting room, my dressing room because J-Lo's here now and J-Lo got some sort of problem and my bag is already in that room. Yeah, I'm going to be pissed. Savannah Guthrie needs to stop. Okay. Kelly was never, I really don't think she was even being a diva. I think I'm here. You got to think about it. When Taraji P. Henson was supposed to be promoting Color Purple, and she started talking about pay inequity. Do you think Taraji P. Henson was on the clock? She was getting paid to promote Color Purple, not sit and talk about her contractual issues, drama, what's wrong with Hollywood. That's not what she was there to talk about. Even though the interviewer asked her about that, why Gail asked Taraji a question about pay equality or why she wasn't going to do the movie, probably knowing Taraji is a Virgo. You know, a lot of women hold a lot of stuff in, but you ask them that one question and they're on the floor. Okay. She asked Taraji that question. It triggered the waterworks. And next thing you know, she's on the promotion trail for Color Purple. And now every question is about Taraji crying and pay inequality. And they're blaming Taraji for Color Purple not making the money it was supposed to make. Kelly did what she was supposed to do, and she tried to keep that interview on track. And I do not blame her. And the fact that she walked off and did not co-host for the rest of the day, number one, she didn't need to, and number two, I'm not convinced that you guys are going to do what I asked you to do, which was to not ask me about Destiny's Child and not to ask me other people's business. I'm here to promote me, my acting, and this movie. Okay, so I don't really blame her. Girl, was Savannah Guthrie drunk? I think as quiet as it's kept, that has been a problem in the past. There's a couple of people, quiet as it's kept, in this news industry who have been on the sauce, okay, on the job. All right. Girl asked George, I was saying to retire from acting. Girl, Gail was wrong for that because she was trying to bait her to talk about her best friend. You see how messy people are? And Taraji, girl, Taraji could have been on her cycle. You know what I mean? Or I know she's of a certain age, but girl, Taraji could have been feeling away. You know, she could have had a hard day. She may not have got some sleep. She might have been missing her boo. I do not know. But Gail set her up for the okey doke. And unfortunately, Taraji felt comfortable answering those questions. And that was not a good thing. Okay. It is so important to stay on track. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're in a job interview, you are getting interviewed by the radio station, remember what you're there for and answer the questions accordingly. Kelly did the right thing, in my opinion. And I bet you what, they'll be calling Kelly one day and apologizing, and they will have her back on. Kelly's not in a position to be blackballed. She doesn't work for anybody but her and her girlfriends. They do that group thing every now and again, but Kelly works for herself. Kelly's not worried. I don't think Kelly is worried about anything. Kelly finished her interview and she bounced, and I don't blame her. If you cannot stick to the guidelines that we set forth, I will see you guys later. And I don't blame her. Absolutely not. Why should I sit here for damn an extra 45 minutes when I am damn Kelly Rowland and my plane is waiting over at LaGuardia and I could get home to my kids? Okay. We can talk about this. You guys can call me on Zoom next time because I'm not putting on my good designer dress to come over here for this bullshit I told you not to ask me about. Okay. And then Hoda and her messy ass sitting up there with damn Jenna Bush. Hoda, they could have you outside by tomorrow too, sis. Don't get it twisted. Hoda was sitting up there. Let me see if I can find what Hoda said. Girl, Hoda, Hoda needs to stop. Okay. They had the pictures. Look at this. Y'all, they had the pictures ready with Beyonce. Like, why is this a Kelly Rowland interview and y'all sitting with Beyonce's pictures ready to go? What does that have to do with Kelly's situation? Okay, her and Kelly, but you pick the picture, the funny, why not? I don't know. Okay, whatever. It's like, y'all, I bet you next time they'll get it right next time. They're not going to play with her next time because it was like, look, somebody thought they were probably going to get off work early. Kelly got it. She's sitting. She's gonna, we're gonna get all these, we're gonna get these views. Here, Kelly Rowland is sitting for an hour. She's talking. We're gonna get her, we're gonna get her over there, Kelly and Jenna, pour some wine and see if we're gonna get her to talk. Beyonce and Kelly was like, yeah, not today. Mm-hmm. It was very disrespectful. Kelly did the right thing. And if they want to chalk it up to Kelly being a diva about a fitting room and then also making it some beef between J-Lo and Kelly beefing over who's got a bigger room, I really, J-Lo could have came with a whole team of people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she needed a bigger room. I don't know. Not anybody's problem. I truly doubt, like, for them to be so unprofessional to make it seem like J-Lo was being a diva and wanted a bigger room over Kelly, or Kelly was mad because she didn't get a bigger room. However, which way it went, for people to even know something from behind the scenes and make that the reason rather than Savannah trying to take the attention off of the business at hand, which was Kelly is promoting her movie. That was very messy. That was very messy and wrong. Um, you see what happened? Okay. Okay, guys, let me see. What else do we have? We're going to talk Fani on Friday. March 1st is the date for Fani. Somebody in the chat said Portia and hey dear. Portia and Simon are boring. So we will get into some Portia and Simon. That might just have to be a separate chat because I know Real Housewives is a thing. And look, I like J Lo too. I don't have a problem with J Lo. J Lo's music is not all that, but I like J Lo. I respect. You know what I mean? Like she's cool with me. I don't have a problem with her. Um, my thing is this: don't put two women against each other that probably didn't even they may have just been like, "Hey, girl, what's up?" It might not have even been a thing, but they came up with something to make it. You know how people will come up with something to not make it their fault. And I'm just gonna say I'm putting it on the Today Show. Okay, allegedly, I'm giving it to the Today Show. I don't think it was that. I think the Today Show fucked up. I think the Today Show was being messy, and I think that they came up with a scenario to not make it their fault, and they tried to make it seem like Kelly had an attitude and J Lo had an attitude, and J Lo probably sitting there like, well, what the? How did I get in this? Okay, how did I get in this? What? I just, girl, I was showing up for my 5 minutes. How did I get in this? J Lo probably was like, and what? And messy ass Hoda and messy ass Jenna and somebody else messy on the production staff came up with something to not make it their fault why Kelly Rowland packed her shit and got the hell up out of there. And I do not blame her. Cause I bet you Kelly got something else to do. If Kelly don't have nothing else to do, Kelly got something else to do. I know Kelly is a mother and a wife. She always got something to do. Whether she had something else to do in New York or not, Kelly, I'm sure was needed at the home front. Okay. I'm sure her husband was like, girl, come on home. We waiting on you. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bounce and get back to the house. I got a husband and some kids waiting on me. I did what I was supposed to do. I came and promoted this movie and I get a whole hour back. I will be, girl, we get I'm gonna be able to make dinner in LA tonight. Like, okay, it's over. I don't blame her. Very disrespectful. I'm mad at the Today Show. I think the Today Show was messy. That's my opinion on it. I don't see Kelly tripping over uh a dressing room, and I honestly don't see J-Lo tripping over a dressing room. It's quite possible whoever showed up with an entourage may have needed more room, but I don't think it was from a diva perspective. I don't see either of those two women behaving in such a manner. I truly believe that Savannah Guthrie and her messy behind and Hoda and Jenny were trying to save face for running off some talent on that day that said, fuck you, I'm gone, see you later. It just seems awfully convenient. Okay. Anyway, that's just my opinion on that, guys. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and go because I know we got phone calls from prison coming up in the next 10 minutes. I'll see you guys in a couple hours. I'm getting ready to go get dinner started for my family because I'm actually a little bit late on that. It's almost 7 o'clock here. My husband just came home. Let me go ahead and get something put together real quick, and then I will see you guys after. Girl, always trying to make the brown girls in some sort of drama. Okay, period. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. You don't think J Lo stepped out camera ready? When do you see people show up to the Today Show in their car, stepping out of like the good town car, whatever it is, the Uber Black, the limousine, the Cadillac, and they're not stepping out dressed? Who comes to the Today Show in no clothes? Anytime you see those people going into the Today Show, they are suited and booted. Who needs to come into the Today Show and get dressed? That doesn't even make any sense. I think it was saving face because they ran off Kelly Rowland and they wanted to make it not their fault. Okay? Some old fake news. Okay. All right, guys. I'm gonna let y'all go. I will see you guys. You might not see me in the chat, but of course I'll be listening because girl, I gotta get up into that kitchen. Um, and then I'll see you guys a little bit later, like 9 o'clock or something, and then we'll talk about what just happened. Okay. Um, girl, these people are because they only have 4 or 5 minutes that they're gonna be on. They're not waiting for damn the Today Show makeup people to make them up for a 4 minute spot. They got their own makeup artists, everything. Those people show up to the Today Show ready. Okay. The fans are outside waiting and people are taking pictures as you're showing up to what's it called? 30 Rock? Who's showing up to Rockefeller Center with no clothes on and no makeup? They do at 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, but not the talent. The talent's coming in and they're leaving. They're in and out, in and out. Go look. You guys know Hilo Lux. Hilo Lux has been showing up and doing some spots with Jenna and Hoda. Recently, her name is Janae Naylor. She's on YouTube. Her channel used to be called Hilo Lux, and she's on the rise. Very beautiful woman, and she's like she's a fashionista, put it that way. Janae was on her way to damn Today Show. Janae was going over there to do some sort of photo shoot, something over there for Pattern Beauty, and was showing up ready to go. These people don't show up not ready. Even if that's not the face they want you to have on, people are not hitting these streets anymore with nothing. There's too many people out here with cameras and video. Okay? Who's coming? Girl, come on now. Nobody's leaving out, or you got some big ginormous sunglasses on, like you know what I mean? No makeup in 2024 is big designer sunglasses, okay, and some lip gloss. Okay, because that's damn near some makeup in and of itself. Anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go. We will get caught up on some more hot topics this week, but we will get into that business later on tonight. And I will see you guys later. Have a good evening. If I don't see you again later, but I will be back in a couple hours. So we'll talk about what just happened on phone calls from prison. Okay. All right, guys. I'll see you later. Hit the like button for me. I appreciate y'all so much. Take care, and I'll be back in a couple hours. Okay.